Calderon, Canella, Corbett, Correa, De Leon, DeSaulnier, Dutton, Emerson, Evans, Fuller, Gaines, Hancock, Harmon, Hernandez, Huff, Kehoe, LaMalfa, Leno, Liu, Lowenthal, Negrete McLeod, Padilla, Pavley, Price, Rubio, Smidian, Steinberg, Strickland, Vargas, Walters, Wolk, Wright, Weiland, Yee.
Members, a quorum is present. Would the members and our guests beyond the rail and in the gallery please rise? We'll be led in prayer this morning by our chaplain, Rabbi Mona Alfi, after which please remain standing, and we'll be led in the Pledge of Allegiance by Senator Negrete McLeod.
Good morning. This coming Monday, our country will celebrate President's Day and honor the men who have taken on the sacred and difficult task of leading our country. Looking down at us in this chamber is a portrait of our first president, a man who set a high standard for leadership and character for us all. Both as General Washington and as President Washington, he dedicated himself to the service of others. And while he endured many hardships while in the service of our country, he found meaning in serving a cause larger than himself. He said that he believed that happiness and moral duty are inseparably connected. President Washington understood that true happiness comes not from pursuing fame or fortune, but from living a life of meaning, pursuing the greater good, and living according to one's highest aspirations. We give thanks to the Holy One for blessing this country with leaders throughout our history who have stepped forward in times of peace and war, prosperity and hardship, presidents whose noble endeavors have inspired us to serve our country as well. May the Holy One of blessing grant that we be like them in their finest moments, and may God grant that we too should find joy in our responsibilities, value from serving others, and happiness in living our lives with a sense of moral duty. May this be God's will. Amen.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice.
Members, we will move on to the swearing in of our two new members. Would the senators-elect, Mr. Ted Lieu and Ms. Sharon Runner, please proceed to the front of the floor, to the bar of the Senate, to take your oath of office. And members, can I ask you to take your seats, please? Members, can I ask you to take your seats? Senator Steinberg, the President of the Senate pro tempore, will administer the oath of office.
Well, let me just say what an honor it is to swear in our two new members of the Senate. And for the first time in many, many months, we will have a full House, a full Senate. And we're very happy that both of you are here with your families. And congratulations. Let us do the formal oath of office. Please raise your right hand. I state your name.
I, Sharon Runner.
Do solemnly swear.
Solemnly swear
That I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States.
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
And the Constitution of the State of California.
and the Constitution of the State of California
Against all enemies,
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic.
foreign and domestic.
That I will bear true faith and allegiance.
That I will bear true faith Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully
and I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties upon which I am about to enter.
discharge the duties of my
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Senator Liu, and congratulations, Senator Runner. Members, without objection, we will allow photographers to be on the floor for this morning's session. And members, we'll move on to privileges of the floor while our new members take their seats as well. Senator Steinberg, please.
Madam President, I'd like to request without objection that both Senators Runner and Senator Liu have the opportunity briefly to come to the dais and to address their new colleagues.
Without objection, Senator Steinberg. They're coming. Ms. Runner? To be followed by Senator Liu. Good morning and welcome.
Well, thank you, Mr. President Pro Tem and colleagues. I look forward to working with you all. I think I have served with a supermajority of you here in the Senate, so it'll be good to have all the friends that I had in the past in the Assembly. I want to have a special thank you to George. Senator Runner. I guess we're now Senator Runner and Senator Runner. He's given me his support, his encouragement in my decision to run, to serve again here in this house, his former house. And I have some family here today with me. I have my mother-in-law, Kay Runner. You can stand up, Mom. George's mom. I have my son, Micah Runner. And I have my 3 grandchildren, Raider, who is 17, Haley, who is 5, and James. Hi, Haley. Hi, James. I'm so excited they could be here today. I want to thank my constituents for putting their faith in me. I'm humbled by the vote of confidence they have given me, and I will humbly serve them. Over the last 2 years, I served on the Unemployment Appeals Board. I reviewed over 1,000 cases of heartbreaking stories of employees having to go on unemployment. We have too many unemployed Californians, and this is unacceptable. I will work hard to do what I can to bring jobs back to California and bring the state budget with jobs. We can bring California back to the golden state it was when I grew up here as a native Californian. And I look forward to work with this body and work to make California a great place to be. Thank you.
Good morning. Congratulations, Senator Runner. Let me first thank Senator Steinberg for swearing us in today, and want to recognize my family as well. But before I do that, I just want to say one of the reasons I'm here today is because a good friend of mine passed away a few months ago. Senator Jenny Oropeza was a courageous, compassionate senator, and California is a better place because of her service. So with me here today are my parents who flew in from Ohio. We have Carrie and George Liu, and they're right there. We have my sons, Brennan and Austin, and today is a particularly happy day for them because they get to skip school. And then we have a former Deputy Attorney General and current Environmental Quality Commissioner and the love of my life, my wife, Betty. And so my parents, like many folks here, were immigrants, and they came to seek the American dream. And we will go to flea markets and swap meets and sell gifts to make ends meet. Eventually, we opened one store in a shopping center and then one gift store in a shopping mall. And my brother and I would help watch that store because, we were free labor. We then did that for several more years, and they expanded to 6 stores. And so in my mind, my parents achieved the American dream. They went from being poor to a family business to a home, gave my brother and I an amazing education. And it is our responsibility in these chambers to make sure that that dream remains open for all in California. And I look forward to working with all of my colleagues here, with the governor, and with the people of California in crafting a budget that moves us forward. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Senator Runners and Senator Liu. Welcome to you both. Members will move on to privileges of the floor. Senator Gaines, do you have an introduction? Senator Gaines.
I do. Thank you. I'd like to take this opportunity to introduce 5 young women from my district who are here as part of the California YMCA Youth and Government Program. They are part of the El Dorado County delegation, a group of over 120 young adults. This delegation is one of the largest in the state. They are part of 2,400 students who are participating in the program this weekend. Could I have you, are they standing? Or, there they are, right here in the back. Okay, very well. Thank you.
Welcome, and thank you, Senator Gaines. Senator Padilla. Senator Padilla at Senator Steinberg's desk.
Thank you very much. If I can ask Senator Cannella to join me in this presentation. Come on over. Come on over. Colleagues, this has become an annual tradition for me to, in usually the month of February, ask that we all formally acknowledge and recognize National Engineers Week, and honoring the contributions of engineers around the country to not just our nation, but to our future. Engineers Week is usually somewhere around George Washington's birthday, also recognizing that the first president of the United States, and therefore President's Day, was a military engineer and land surveyor. Engineer Week aims to increase awareness and interest of not just engineers and scientists that are facing some of those pressing issues our country's facing, from transportation infrastructure to the information superhighway, water quality, air quality, and everything in between. But it's also an opportunity to try to reach out to young people and strengthen the achievement in the math and sciences in our schools, in K-12, in higher education, and hopefully train the next generation of engineers and scientists that our country and our economy will depend on. Before I introduce some special guests and present a resolution, I'd invite Senator Cannella, a civil engineer, to say a few words.
Well, thank you very much, Senator Padilla. This is my first time speaking on the floor, so bear with me. But I also want to thank all the media and all the people that are here specifically to celebrate National Engineers Week. So it's great to have you be a part. So, yes, thank you. As Senator Padilla mentioned, I am a licensed civil engineer, so I have spent most of my adult life in the practice of civil engineering. And so this seems a little self-serving, but I'm going to go on anyway. But engineers have contributed so much to our society. I've got just a small list, but you can thank engineers for the automobile, the airplane, for radio and television, computers, the highway system, and contrary to what others have said, the internet was actually created by engineers. So from small businesses like my own civil engineering firm to multinational corporations like Apple, engineers are important contributors to the California economy. I think engineers have helped California lead the way in so many industries, and I'm proud to be a part of that group. But it's also important to not forget that we do need to invest in our young people to continue to develop engineers and scientists for the future, because really without an ongoing supply of these young men and women, I think we're going to have a lot of challenges. So I would also like to ask our colleagues to support SR 6. I'll turn it back over to Senator Padilla.
So thank you. And I don't know if we want to do a formal vote before I present the resolution, or Senator Dutton. No, we're not going to cut this out of the budget.
Just one moment. Why don't we take senators' comments? I think there are several, and then we'll take the item up.
Okay.
Senator Dutton.
Well, I actually had a question of the co-author. It was just, I wasn't going to really say anything, but you said something about, I just need clarification, because you said something about that engineers actually invented the internet. And see, I always thought our esteemed former vice president, Al Gore, invented the internet. Is he an engineer?
Well, as you know, Bob, we in the legislative branch, we have a lot of ideas, and most of them are good, but we turn them over to engineers that actually create the ideas and turn them into something real. So
now, I understand that George Washington was actually an engineer too, or a land surveyor. I guess he's kind of a civil engineer of sorts. Is that you? Are you planning to use this as a way to aspire to a higher office or a higher calling?
Is there anything higher than the state senate, Mr. Dutton? I don't.
Thank you.
Senator Padilla, we'll go to item 1, your resolution. If you would like to take that up, I'll have the secretary read.
Senate Resolution 6 by Senator Padilla relative to National Engineers Week.
And to the House members, is there any objection to a voice vote? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
The resolution is passed. Senator Padilla?
Well, thank you very much, Madam President. Here to receive a resolution is not only a bipartisan from a political party, but bipartisan in the sense that we have both public sector and private sector engineering representatives with us. Fareed Pitawaloff, Region 9 Director of the American Society of Civil Engineers, Matt Hansen, President of the Professional Engineers in California Government, and Eddie Ko, California Vice President of the American Council of Engineering Companies, here to receive the resolution, and faces and friends from the engineering fields. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Senator Vargas. Members, we will move on to messages from the governor will be deemed read. Messages from the Assembly will be deemed read. Reports of committees will be deemed read. Now we're at motions and resolutions. Members will take up adjourn in memory at the end of the file. Any other business to take place under motions and resolutions? Senator Simitian.
Madam President, for purposes of introduction, if I may.
Go, yes.
Simply like to ask the members to turn their heads and look to the rear of the chamber so that I can introduce a local council member from Cupertino, Barry Chang, who's with us today, and a local businessman, Rod Sinks, who came to see us do our work. Please join me in welcoming them to the Senate chamber.
Welcome to the Senate, gentlemen. Senator Corbett.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. Not only are we celebrating the birthdays of the presidents, but also another very important person to us. Assemblymember Bob Wieckowski is here with us today to celebrate his birthday as well.
Happy birthday, Mr. Wieckowski. Senator Kern Price.
Thank you, Madam President. I'd like permission to take up SCR 4.
That is item number 3, members, relative to Black History Month. The Secretary will read.
Senate Concurrent Resolution 4 by Senator Price relative to Black History Month.
Thank you,
Senator
members.
Price.
SCR 4 recognizes February 2011 as Black History Month. I urge all Californians to celebrate the accomplishments of African Americans not only during Black History Month, but all year round. Black History Month began as Negro History Week, which was created in 1926 by Carter G. Woodson, a noted African American historian, scholar, educator, and publisher. The celebration was fueled by his passion for black studies and the many notable achievements of African Americans in U.S. history. In 1976, Negro History Week became a month-long celebration. From its earliest days in the United States, the course of history has been greatly influenced by black heroes and sheroes in many diverse areas, from science, medicine, mathematics, education, to government, industry, and social leadership. One of the most notable periods recognized during Black History Month is the Harlem Renaissance. Originally called the New Negro Movement, the Harlem Renaissance was a literary and influential flowering that fostered a new black cultural identity in the 20s and 30s. From that period emerged great writers like Langston Hughes, Countee Cullen, Zora Houston, and Richard Wright. African American artists continued to influence art in this country during the Civil Rights era. Some of the great artists at that time include Ramir Bearden, Elizabeth Catlett, and Jacob Lawrence. African American art not only reflects the black struggle, but also their genius and gift to America. This month, the California Legislative Black Caucus is proud to celebrate Black History Month through the arts. The Black Caucus has hosted numerous events during February, including 2 art exhibits and a historical visual presentation of the California Freedom Riders experience at the California Museum. This year's Rotunda exhibit features renowned artist Milton Bowens, who on February the 8th was honored by the California Legislative Black Caucus for his incredible work and his advocacy of the arts through the Any Given Child program. We hope that you'll use Black History Month as a time to learn more about African American artists and reflect upon their contributions. And please remember to stop by the second floor rotunda to view the art show that the caucus has put together for this year. SCR 4 is supported by the Attorney General, California Legislative Black Caucus, and colleagues on both sides of the aisle, and I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Senator Price. Members, is there any debate or discussion on SCR 4? File item 3. Seeing none, the Secretary will call the roll.
Alquist. Aye. Anderson. Berryhill. Blakesley. Calderon. Canella. Aye. Corbett. Aye. Correa. Aye. De Leon. DeSaulnier. De Leon. Aye. DeSaulnier. Aye. Dutton. Aye. Emerson. Aye. Evans. Aye. Fuller. Aye. Gaines. Aye. Hancock. Aye. Harmon. Aye. Hernandez. Aye. Huff. Aye. Kehoe. Aye. LaMalfa. Aye. Leno. Aye. Tedlew. Aye. Carolou. Aye. Lowenthal. Aye. Negrete McLeod. Padilla. Aye. Pavley. Aye. Price. Aye. Rubio. Aye. Runner. Aye. Smidian. Aye. Steinberg. Aye. Strickland. Aye. Vargas. Aye. Walters. Aye. Wolk. Aye. Wright. Aye. Wyland. Yee. Yee, aye.
The Secretary will call the absent members. Call the absent members, please.
Anderson, aye. Berryhill. Blakesley. Calderon. Negrete McLeod. Wyland.
Already. Yep. 35-0, the resolution is passed. Members, we'll move on to, let me see. We are at motions and resolutions. We'll take up the first reading. Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 627 by Senator Walters, enact lane to vehicles. Senate Bill 628 by Senator Yee, enact lane to acupuncture. Senate Bill 629 by Senator Lowenthal, enact lane to post-secondary education. Senate Bill 630 by Senator Alquist, enact relating to health facilities. Senate Bill 631 by Senator Evans, enact relating to insurance.
Thank you. Members, we're at motions and resolutions. This is the appropriate time to take up adjournments in memory. Senator Leno, an adjournment in memory.
Thank you, colleagues. I know this is a celebratory day, and I want to express my congratulations to both Senator Runner and Senator Lieu and welcome their families. But I ask if you could join me just for a moment to adjourn in the memory of a remarkable woman who is quite well known in the Bay Area. You may have known of her fame as well. Her name is Carolyn Marks. She was the wife of former Assemblyman and former Senator Milton Marks, who served under this dome for 38 years. First as a moderate Republican, and then after he switched parties to become a Democrat, yes, he was from San Francisco, was a great leader, fighting for public education and for our state library system at a time when there were few voices for libraries. But Carolyn was his right hand, was his soulmate, was his office manager, his district director, his chief of staff, his everything. It was known at the time that Milton Marks would show up at every wedding, every bar mitzvah, every community event. He was a hands-on legislator, very deep in the community, and it was prior to the advent of computers and printers and all that we benefit from today that office, led by Carolyn, would put out 50,000 letters a year to constituents. She herself was a Bryn Mawr graduate, 1943, not a time when many Jewish women had the opportunity to go to university, was trained as an economist, worked in Washington as an economist, then as an economist when the United Nations was formed in San Francisco in 1945, and subsequently for the United Nations in New York City. She herself was a real force of nature. She was dynamic. She was a fierce leader. Ran for the Board of Supervisors as a candidate herself in 1996, garnered 50,000 votes, not quite enough to make it to the Board of Supervisors, but always fighting for the dignity of all people and for health issues. Also served as a commissioner in San Francisco on the Commission for the Status of Women. She died at the age of 89, leaving 3 children and I think 7 grandchildren. And I would ask that you join me in sending our condolences and appreciation to her family for the many, many decades of service they have offered to the Bay Area and to the state of California.
Thank you, Senator Leno. We do indeed join you in sending our condolences to Senator Marks and his family. Senator Yee on this item? Senator Yee.
Madam President, let me also join my colleague, Senator Leno, in offering our condolences to the Marks family. On a personal note, I came onto the San Francisco Board of Supervisors during that fateful year of 1996. That was the time when Caroline and I was running together. And I think that what I got out of that relationship and that experience was her really tremendous support of her husband and her tremendous support of the community and the family and the essence of what political life was all about, and that is to help one another. Unfortunately, she did not make it, but she continued in her public life, serving on the Commission on Status of Women and many other commissions. And then one last thing that I wanted to say is that she always supported her husband. it was rather interesting that the state legislature decided to call the auditorium in the San Francisco State Building the Milton Marks Auditorium. And for whatever reason, that was somehow not noted in that building. And she saw that, she noted that, and she fought absolutely fearlessly to make sure that the memory of her husband would live on. And it is just remarkable in terms of the relationship that she had with her husband and her family. She's a role model for all of us about our family and our partners and taking care of one another. And I want to also then add my voice of condolence because of that passing. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Yee. Senator Steinberg, do you have an adjournment in memory? Thank you, Senator Steinberg. Senator Woke, an adjournment in memory. Senator
Thank you,
Woke?
Madam Speaker. Yes, I would like to ask the body to adjourn in memory of Patty Bogle. She was the owner of Bogle Vineyards in Clarksburg, and she died at the age of 59 after a very long and hard-fought battle with leukemia. Patty and her husband, her late husband, Chris, built Bogle Vineyards in Clarksburg from 18 acres of grapes to a regional wine powerhouse that has been ranked as the country's 14th largest winery. Patty and Chris Bogle, along with her father-in-law, Warren, first sold their grapes to wineries and later founded the family winery in 1979. She oversaw the winery operations while her husband ran the company's agricultural program. He died in 1997 of heart and kidney failure, and their son, Warren Jr., left college to become the company's vineyard manager. It truly is a family-owned business. She is well remembered in the wine industry for championing Petite Sirah, as well as the extraordinary spirit and camaraderie that she showed. She was named Woman of the Year by the legislature in the year 2000, and she was extremely active not only in the wine industry, but also in Yolo County and in the state. She's survived by her husband, second husband, Ernie Roncaroni, her mother, her children, and 9 grandchildren. And the wine industry has truly lost a hero and a great ambassador, and she will be missed by all of those whose lives that she touched. There will be a celebration of her life at 2 o'clock on Friday, March 11th at the Robert and Margaret Mondavi Center at UC Davis. I ask you all to adjourn in memory of
Thank
Patty
you so
Bogle.
much. Thank you so much, Senator Woke. We do indeed adjourn in her memory. That winery in your district is a California icon. And members, that concludes our adjournments today in memory. Oh, excuse me, Senator Yee. My apologies. Senator Yee, an adjournment in memory.
Thank you very much, Madam President. Let me adjourn in the memory of Philip Wong Chow. Philip Wong Chow passed away on February the 8th, 2011. He was the father of longtime Senate staffer Phyllis Chow. Born in November 16, 1926, in Guangdong Province in China, Philip Chow immigrated to the United States at the age of 13. He settled in Los Angeles, where he attended school during the day and worked in the afternoons and weekends at a grocery store. At the age of 18, Philip Chow was drafted into the U.S. Army and served in Japan during World War II. In 1948, he returned home to China, wedded Mei Ching Wong, a union that lasted 63 years. Mr. and Mrs. Chow returned to the United States, started a family, settling first in Montana, then in Los Angeles. Together they raised 4 loving children, Gordon, Phyllis, June, and Dean. Philip Chow worked very hard to provide for his family, earning an income as an owner of a grocery store and Chinese restaurants. He was a true gentleman in every sense of the word, devoted husband, loving father, grandfather, a person who deeply cared about his family and friends and lived life fully. He will be greatly missed by his wife, children, grandchildren, and every one whose lives he touched. Philip Chow's funeral will be held tomorrow morning in Los Angeles.
Thank you very much, Senator Yee. We join you in offering our condolences to the family. And Senator Yee, would you be certain the desk gets the name so it can be printed in the journal? Thank you. Members, That concludes our daily business. Senator Steinberg, the desk is clear. There will be the two receptions.
Thank you. Yes, Madam President, there are two receptions for our newly elected senators, Senators Runner and Lieu. Session will resume on Tuesday at 2 o'clock, and we can anticipate a joint Assembly Senate Budget Conference Committee to convene either Tuesday or Wednesday as we march towards the March 10th or so deadline. Thank you very much, everyone. Have a good weekend.
Thank you, Senator Steinberg. The Budget Chairman would like to make a brief announcement.
Colleagues, and for those who will be participating in the budget hearings today, the gavel will be struck at 10:30, and we will begin our work, the third of 3 hearings in the Senate Budget and Fiscal Review Committee. Room 4203.
And members, also today is the last day to introduce bills. The desk will be open till 5 p.m. Remember, the reception for the 2 new senators is in room 211. We will adjourn after 5:30. Now we're in recess.